Have you ever felt like something is just missing from your photos or art in general? That's a pretty common feeling, and for good reason too. It's hard to put your finger on what makes great photographs great. What makes viewers continue coming back to them again and again. Now, it might be the forms, it might be the lines, it might be the subject, it might be the colors even. Or maybe not. I think that it has something to do with storytelling. Now, all of those compositional elements definitely contribute to great storytelling, but that's not the reason a photo is great. It's great because the viewer can relate to it, right? The viewer can feel an emotion, they can tell what's going on, they can thoroughly enjoy the photograph for what it is and what it's attempting to communicate. That's an aspect of photography and art in general that is really hard to kind of put your finger on and determine what part of the photo is doing the storytelling. Now, photography has so many compositional elements. It's similar to cinematography in a lot of ways, except that you have to distill all of the elements into a single moment in time. You're not able to control the pacing that occurs in a photo, but in this video I'm going to go through why it's so important in photography and how you, as a photographer, can enhance your storytelling in your photographs. Now, storytelling has always been an integral part of what it really means to be a human. Before humankind had reading or writing, they had art and they had storytelling. The El Castillo caves were a prime example of this. It just proves that we're a visual species. We used light and shadows to communicate meaning and survival. Humans are hardwired to think of stories as a mental shortcut. Stories allow humans to process complex emotions and information much faster than just raw data. I think one of the biggest aspects of storytelling in photography is the distillation of what you want to communicate to the viewer in the least amount of visual elements possible. I'll refer to this as the subtraction principle. A good photographer doesn't think about what they can add to the frame, but rather what they can subtract from it to allow the viewer to more adequately view what the photographer is meant to show. If an element in the background doesn't have a purpose, it's a distraction. That's something that I try to keep in mind with my photography, especially street photography, where you're not able to really control all of the elements. So you have to use compositional techniques in order to hone in on what you really want to focus on. And this allows the viewer to create a story when they look at your image rather than being distracted from these elements that don't necessarily have a purpose. Now, another tool that I love to use, and I've seen a lot of other photographers use, is the concept of sequencing. Now, what is sequencing? When I say that, I mean the usage of a wide shot, a medium shot, and a tight shot. The wide shot is meant to show where we are. It sets the stage and the mood for the next photos to come. The medium shot is meant to show the subject and its relationship to the overall environment that we showed in the previous photo. And the tight shot is what specific detail or feeling we're meant to walk away with. This really allows the viewer to create a logical path so they don't feel lost throughout your photos. It also provides context, which is a big part of storytelling, and it allows you to control the pace. If you just provide the tight shot without the wide or medium, it becomes a totally different photograph. All of these together can create a cohesive story that really speaks to your viewer. Okay, great. Now we have subtraction, we have sequences. I think another aspect of photography that is really important is color. Color as a subtext, particularly. Now, there's a lot of psychology surrounding color and how we feel about certain colors. Personally, I love warm tones, and a lot of people also love warm tones, especially in their living environment. I have orange lights all over my apartment because I find it cozy rather than really cool tones that could be a little more clinical. And we could take advantage of these feelings that people naturally have about colors to be able to tell a story. Lighting and color act as the soundtrack for a still image or scene. They allow you to portray what you want the viewer to feel before they even understand what they're looking at. Whether it's for social media or a professional project, visual storytelling is about empathy. It's about connecting to your viewer. It's about showing something deeper than the image itself. It bridges the gap that language just simply can't. There needs to be a clear message in your photography. There needs to be a reason that your viewer is looking at your photograph. If the viewer of your photograph is left asking, what's the point? You haven't done your job. It's a central tenet of photography and storytelling. Clarity is just as important as aesthetics. Visual storytelling really is our most important universal language. It allows us to connect to an image. It allows photographers to communicate something that is just impossible with words. So I leave you with this. Storytelling is not easy in photography, but it is worthwhile. What you want to communicate to the viewer is up to you. So take advantage of the techniques that I've gone over in this video and go out there and make some art. Thanks for watching.